Today I'm going to show you how to use the Cricut Joy to make stencils soup to nuts, from designing them to cutting them to using them in your artwork. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life. So today I want to make a stencil in Design Space for the Cricut Joy. I want to cut some out. So the first thing I need to do is I need to find an image that I could use. Say I come here and I'm going to say heart, right? And if you go down to ownership and you say free, you can use any of these for stencils. So say I wanted to use this to make a stencil. Okay. I actually want it to be a repeating image. So I'm going to say this one, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay, so I have 4.5 by 6.5 because I have a joy, right? And I want it to be a little bit random because I don't like anything in my art to be really linear. And well, I like linear things, but when I am just making a little stencil-y thing, I want it to be a little funky. Do we want some of them to be this way? Ooh, that's fun. Okay, let's see how many we can fit in. Because I'm just going to use a piece of, let's go opposite. I'm just going to use a piece of cardstock to make this on. Okay, so if we do this, and we do this, and we do this, let's get kind of a little non-repeating pattern, I guess is what I'm going for. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so we have this. Let's do this. Copy, paste. All right. And then let's rotate this whole thing a quarter turn so it's not the same, right? Ooh, that kind of fits in there perfect. Okay, so now we got to get this one to fit, right? So maybe we get these down here a little bit, and we can only go to 6.5, so we have to get rid of this line. All right, so this is fun. Let's go ahead and weld this together so it'll all cut at the same time. And then I'm going to say save, and I'm going to say heart stencil. Now I did this on my computer because I find it easier to work on my computer. You might find it easier to work on your phone or your iPad. Okay, before we actually go and cut some, I did want to show you how to make your own shapes for stencils. So here is kind of a billion different ones. So say you wanted to do a whole bunch of stars. You could make this. If you're a line 'em up kind of guy, you can do this and say a line. Oh, there's a line. Center. Here you go. So you want to pull one guy off to the side. And if you say a line vertically, right? And then you say distribute horizontally, you can make them like that. But I am going to use circles. And what I want to do is I want to make a bunch of circles that have circle holes in them. And I'll explain this to you. You'll see it in 1 second. Okay, so if we align them, center horizontally, center vertically. Now I know it's in there, and if I say slice, now don't freak out because it looks like nothing happened, right? But now I have 3 circles. I have the first one, and then I have the circle that was cut. And I'm going to take this guy. Oops, where'd he go? Okay, well, he disappeared. That's okay, because it's just a circle. And I'm going to hook these 2 together. And now I may kind of want wonky circles. I'm going to leave that there for 1 wee minute. Command C, Command V. Oh yeah, I do want wonky circles. Okay. So, I don't want this one. I just want this one. And I want to get both of them. Alright, so there's that. There's that. This is kind of my signature wonky circly thing. I have that in a couple of my projects, and I really like it. Okay, here we go. I love Mom's listening to Amazing Grace. I don't know if you can hear that. But that is very cool. Alright, so I can go over to 4.5, right? Because I'm on a joy. And I don't, the last thing I want it to be is, like, consistent. I want it to be totally random. Maybe I make this guy a little bit even smaller. I don't want to go bigger. Command copy paste. Okay, then I'll get another one of these. Copy paste. Copy paste. Go a little bigger. Because I can only go over to 4.5. I have to be really careful. Because it kicks it down onto another page if we go bigger than that. And we're going to do that same thing. We're going to copy paste once I get kind of a thing I like. Let's turn it. I don't even know if that's 90 degrees, but it's close. Let's get this in here. Let's take this little guy, move him up in here, right? Kind of center him. Do this. Oops, I lost one of my bigger circles. Okay. Copy paste. Alright, so we've got, I love that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to weld this. Because if you don't weld it, it turns it into a million different weird things. And then I'm going to say save, and I'm going to say circles. Funky circles. And you can do this with anything, right? So if you wanted to do a new project, and you wanted to do shapes, and I love diamonds, and I wanted to make a really cool harlequin pattern, this one I would do this way. Okay, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Because I love harlequin patterns. That's my favorite one. Alright. So now we're going to get these guys. We're going to align them center, right? We're going to align them vertically. Oops. We're going to align them distribute horizontally. And then we know we're too close together, right? So then we'll do align vertically. Distribute horizontally. We're super close, so we need to move this out a teeny bit more. Align vertically. Distribute horizontally. And that is pretty close. So then what you would do is you would take this. Remember, you can only go to 4.5, so I would go to there. I would copy paste. And don't forget, if you make them touch, okay, so say you made a stencil like this where they all touched, right? What would happen is there's nothing holding it together anymore. It would just outline this whole thing, and you would have a whole bunch of diamonds cut out. So when you're making a stencil, and we could group this, so let's group this. Group. We'll delete these guys, and then we'll copy this group, copy paste, and you need to put some space between them so that when you cut out your stencil, copy paste, I think we can do it with a paste, one more set, right? Because we have to go down to 2.5. And then what we want to do, because they're all grouped, this will work. If you didn't have them grouped, they wouldn't work. But now we want to distribute vertically. I think I have to be just a titch smaller to not hit my 6.5. I'm going to say save. I'm going to say Harlequin. Okay, and now, because I'm me, and I kind of like funky a little bit more than perfect, I'm going to ungroup, right? I'm going to take this guy, make him a little smaller, maybe this guy a little bit bigger, this guy a little bit smaller, that guy the same, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, so now let's align center. Distribute horizontally. I think I need a teeny bit more space. Distribute horizontally. Cool. We want to group because then we're going to, you know, arrange them. Option. And this is the cool thing. If you have a stencil in mind and no company has made it, then make your own, right? You can do whatever you want. We're in a time, in a glorious time when you have the ability to make it yourself. So let's ungroup this because my big ones got lined up, right? So let's unline those big ones. That's better. And let's put this big one on the end. Okay. Oh, that's good. All right, so now we're going to say align vertically, distribute horizontally. Uh-oh. And then you can nudge, right, if you need to. Let's align them vertically again. Okay, and we're going to group this. And then we're going to copy paste. And this one I don't mind if it's similar. Paste. Because it's pretty funky to begin with. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I need to take off this last row. I'm at 4.5, so this is just going to have to be the size unless I wanted to make them shorter, or so I could do that, right? I could make them, I guess I can't make them shorter. I have to do it equidistantly. So I would have to really do something. And I'm just trying to make some fun stencils. I'm not trying to make this Harlequin funky. I'm not trying to make this a big deal. I'm just trying to make some quick stencils so that I can use on my project today. And that's the beauty of the joy, is you're able to make something that you need, and not have to order it and wait and do all that. Next thing you're going to see is I'm going to go over to my Joy and use my iPad, and we're going to get the stencil cut out real quick. Okay, can I take just a wee minute to gush about my Joy? So we went and did a design, and then we came over here, and I'm going to make it using 3 different colors of cardstock so that I can, when I'm using all my sprays and inks and stuff, I don't waste them all. So we're in the Funky Harlequin, and what we want to do is we want to weld these. So I'm going to come down to the bottom. Oh, hold on. I'm going to take this one and long push on it, and I'm going to say weld. Okay, so now these 2 are hooked together. Let's go ahead and hook these 3 together. So we got that one, we got this one, and we got this one, weld. We got this one, and we got this one, weld. Okay, and I think that should be it. So now they're all one piece. And I do want them to be a little bit away from, we're going to say make it, and I want it on the mat, but it's not saying that, so let's try without mat. There we go. Can we move it up? See, it thinks it's too long. So let's go back to canvas, And if we do edit, we can say height, let's do 5.5. Okay, now let's try make it. I bet you it'll work now on matte. There you go. Okay, so now it's not going to get us quite as long a one, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. Continue. Joy. Cardstock. Okay, I have to load it. Okay. We have to push unload. Okay, so now what I noticed while it was cutting is some of these edge ones didn't exactly reach, but the nice thing about this is it's going to make our stencil more stable. The fewer like just open areas we have, the better. So let's watch. And they always say pull the mat away from your paper, not your paper away from your mat, right? So let's do this. Boop, boop, boop. We're gonna pull this away. Let's go around here. Let's pull this away. Come around here. Okay, nice. This is good. I love this. Okay, so now a few things come to mind. Number one, it did really help the stability of the stencil that some of the middle ones aren't, that they're still attached to it. This also will be good for, maybe not those ones. I won't keep those ones. But the ones that are in little rows, I will definitely keep. And I will use those as background pieces for my artwork. Ooh, this is a nice long one. Okay. So, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me peel that. I will come back and I will do a little piece with this stencil. But I wanted to go back and show you something about these two, right? We made these two. So the thinking is that it's going to cut it out like that. But don't forget, because we're cutting all the way around that one, it's going to... Did it just get mad? It's going to... it's going to cut out that heart completely, right? Because there's nothing touching it. We could make a line down the middle and then the two pieces would be stuck together, which I might do. I like to just try things and see what happens, but I like the fact that I'm going to have all kinds of A's and B's and C's together. So we're going to say on matte. This is showing it's going to actually cut like a normal thing. Sometimes it gets itself all out of line. And I luckily have two mats, so we can get it stuck. Now, I did want to do this for you because this is super important. You put this on here. And this is just cheap paper from Michaels. Okay. Oh, maybe we should do red for hearts. Yeah, let's do red for hearts. Red for hearts. Okay. So... it's not so important how good your paper is. It's more important that you push it down and get it really stuck on here. The only time I've had any trouble with these mats is when I've just thrown a piece of paper on and not bothered to take the time, a credit card, to squish it down, right? So we're going to say continue. We're going to say cardstock. Load tools and material. Boop, boop. Come on. There you go. It's thinking about it. And go. Okay, so this is the reason why I like having two mats. I am going to go home. I'm going to go to my Funky Circles. I'm going to say make it on a mat. There we go. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Continue. Now it's going to cut the circles completely out. If I don't want the middle of the circles cut out, I'm going to have to put a line across them to keep them hooked. But I'm fine with that. I'm just going to put the middles of the circles in for this material and then use this as a background piece. But that's something to think of when you're doing it. Okay, now it wants me to load. And cut. Okay. So, this is what I was telling you about this. Because it's actually cutting, there's nothing touching the edges of these stencils. And mostly this is made for people who do cards and nice things, make t-shirts. But look at what I got out of here. How fun is it going to be to put those on a mixed media piece and spray around them? And there's even little baby hearts. Hold on. Okay. And then we have right here, we have little tiny hearts we can use. I'm actually really excited. Next time I do this, I'm going to do this on sticker paper. But look, just from those two hearts, I got all those cool things. And I have a cool heart stencil that I can use in my mixed media. So for making stencils, I have to say I am absolutely thrilled with my Joy. And I'm going to just use those as masks. Okay, here we go. Unload. Okay, see how the circles don't stay circles? But what I'm going to do is, now I have a whole bunch of circles, which I find to be miraculous and cool. Okay, so for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down. I may have to put a wee bit of washi tape on it, and then I'm going to spray through that. And I'll show you at least one of those, one of each of these when I'm making stuff, okay? But that's how you use the Joy to make stencils. Hang on, don't go, because I'm going to show you how I actually used them too. Okie dokie. So now we're going to use our stencils. I'm going to use some, this is metallic paint. I don't want metallic paint. This is just some scrapbook paper I bought, and it has kind of a sheeny thing. Maybe I'll use the back. Look, it's got a tiny bit of texture. Of course, I'll always be working on the back at some point in time. So let's do one back, one front. So we'll do this. And then for this is going to be super easy. I want to have a solid background. So I am going to use acrylic paint to put this on. And you can do this a number of different ways. You can get a blending brush, okay, and pounce, right? That'll give us a you could kind of gel it. That's going to give us a more blendy look. Oh, look! Because it's a pattern? Oh my goodness. I like the blendy look. Okay. Maybe a little pounce here and there to make it give it. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That is, that is awesome. Okay, I'm going to make some over here. Okay, and then the thing to remember is I have to let this dry for a wee minute because it's super wet. You have to remember two things, I think. One, that this is just paper, right? So the more crap I put on it, the sturdier it's going to get. But when it's wet like that, we have to try to be nice to it. We can't just, you know, we can't just put stuff on it because it'll be very sad and grumpy. So now I'm actually going to do an opposite resist, right? So we did the front of it, but because I have these little cutouts, I'm going to do a little thing here. And I'm using 3 colors. I'm using this teal blue, I'm using green, and I'm using yellow. So, okay, we liked when we rubbed, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's get this. Let's do the other side of it so they don't all look the same. See? That's called a mask. So now we got those guys. Of course, I put it in the paint. I'm going to try to get almost all the way around here. As you can tell, I am not coordinated enough to do some of the things I try, right? Okay, oh, shoot. We want to do these ones over here too. So this is just making background papers. I don't have a plan yet. I haven't found a focus picture I want to use. I don't have a word I'm thinking of. I'm just trying to get some color onto this background so that I can start to get an idea of what I might like to do. So now let's think about this. Do we want to use this? We could use this side. Okay. It's not quite dry. Terrible about not. Oh, let's do something that we can do with a spray. Okay. With a spray, do I have any sprays? I do have sprays. But a lot of times sprays will wick, meaning they'll spread. Let's use our, let's give it a second to dry, and let's use our archival. So archival inks will not blend. They are permanent inks, and I like permanent ink better. So I'm going to take this, a similar color, not exactly the same color, right? And now I'm going to get fancy. Too little. There we go. That guy's going to go in there. And we're going to get our blue one. And I haven't tried this, so let's see how it works. Well, first off, that pattern paper is the Shizzy-Wig. All right, there we go. All right, let's do a couple over top. Okay. All right, I like those. I like what's going on there. I want one over here. Let's get an even tinier one. Do we have an even tinier one? Okay, let's do this one. Let's kind of get it off kilter. Okay, using this technique, you are going to get permanent stain on your finger. Just warning you now. Oh yeah. This is cool. All right, now, what do you think we're going to do next? You're going to like this, because I'm going to kind of keep the circles. I have this one over here. Maybe I'll put one over here, but I'm going to try to keep them in the middle. But what do you think I'm going to do next? I'm going to use the masky ones, right? Okay, let's do this. Now remember, this is a background. So now look how cool these circles are going to be. I'm going to have so much cool stuff. Do not forget, this is a background layer. We are not worrying about anything. If I screw up a circle, it's so not the end of the world. Nobody will ever see it. Okay. You could also do this with scissors, right? So if you want to, the circles may be harder, but you could do squares with the scissors. Okay, I want something else down here. I want to keep this going. I like what this is doing. Let's do this guy up here. Oh, I'm very pleased with my pattern paper. I paid up for it at Michael's. I only had a, like a 30% off coupon. Okay, good. So I like what's going on here. I'm going to keep that going up the middle with some more green. Okay, so now let's do some circles in green. How do I want to do them? Do I want to do them in paint? I don't think the circles are paint. I think the circles are kind of a pain in the ass. So we're going to go with peeled paint. And I'm using this little Make It by Marco thing. And then I bought little clippies so I know exactly which color brush to use. It's amazing. I'm very pleased with it. Okay, so now I want to make these guys again. Okay, I need a circle. Are these a tiny one? Oh, here's a tiny one. Gosh darn it. Now you can get your paint thingies right, but you have to cover up your ones you're not using, right? This color is called peeled paint. I like this color very much. Okay. Good one. Oh, yeah. Let's see, we're getting a little hint of the circles over there. All right, let's do one over here. We're going to keep our circles going this way. Ooh, this is going to be a big fat circle. I don't know if you can see this one. I'll put it up for you in case you can't. See? Big fat circle. All right. Ooh, look at what's happening in here, you guys. Okay, I think we go back to, okay, so I need some more circles and I need some more shading, because if you're going to do something, you have to do it enough that it looks deliberate rather than looking like you just made a mistake. Okay, we're starting to get some good color on this background. I like it. Okay. All right. How does that look? You can see it better than I can. Okay, I think I need a green one up here. A tiny circle. Or a bigger outside. Right? One or the other. You either get a tinier circle or a bigger outside. There you go. Oh, I totally did that one backwards. That's okay. Let's do another one of those. I like that. All right, let's do one down here, and then we're kind of got the top to bottom, or the side to side, depending on which way we make our. Well, I have to say, I am super pleased. Now, you may ask a question, because I would think of this question. Would you save all these circles and these hearts and stuff like that. So for me, the answer is no. I will use them in this work. I will use them in my project probably because they'll have similar colors. You know, I'll be able to put these on here and add them in. Even if I only use them for, you know, like, to be able to blend them. But I don't keep hardly anything. I would, the next time I was going to do a project, make another one, just because I don't have the patience to organize that much stuff. And that would literally take a lot of organizing to keep all these pieces together when I already have the project in the Joy. All I have to do is take it out, put another one in, and I'm ready to go. So I always like to see things being used once they've been done. And I wanted to show you. So here's those rings that we colored when we were doing that. Here's the background coming through. I added some tissue paper and some napkins, some collage. So I have this as a background to use whenever I feel like it. I think you're gonna love this one. This one is, so you can see all the background stencil. You can see tissue paper. There's the circle. There's some more of that. And all that's happening is, and here's some of the background, and I did some layers with the extra circles. All that's happening is we're just getting layer upon layer upon layer. There's some of that back of texture and color. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.